These movements, experts say, also appear to be learning from each other. The Gen Z protests in Kathmandu kicked off after the government banned social media platforms, citing misuse and the failure of the platforms to register with regulators. But the grievances ran much deeper. Inequality, corruption, and nepotism were the major triggers for young people in a country where remittances sent home by Nepalis abroad represent a third of the nation's economy. Thousands of teenagers hit the streets, many still in school uniforms. More than 70 people were shot dead, and hundreds more were injured. But the violence unleashed on protesters by security forces only aggravated the crisis. Some demonstrators torched the parliament, while others set the houses of other political parties, some leaders, and even Nepal's largest media house on fire. Protesters also broke into Ali's house, ransacking it. Ali resigned a day later. It was very different in Bangladesh in 2024. There, it began with a student-led campaign against discriminatory job quotas. But by the summer, after a series of police crackdowns on mostly peaceful protesters killed hundreds of civilians, the movement's character shifted to a broad coalition demanding an end to Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina's long hardline government. Protests had a loose leadership structure. Student leaders issued ultimatums and lists of demands to the government, and opposition figures provided support. Everything Hanisa's government did, from brutal assaults on student agitators to telecommunications blackouts, only aggravated the crisis. Ultimately, on August 5, 2024, the Prime Minister quit, escaping to close ally India by helicopter. Advertisement: 2 years before the upheaval in Bangladesh, Sri Lanka had its own moment. There, the protests were a response to an economic collapse as Sri Lanka defaulted on its debt. By March 2022, daily life had become dire. 12-hour power blackouts, miles-long queues for fuel and cooking gas, and inflation above 50%. Sri Lanka's Aragalaya movement, which stands for the struggle in Sinhala, was born. Youth activists set up a protest camp they called Gota Go Gama, Gotta Go Village, in front of Colombo's presidential secretariat. It was a reference to President Gotabaya Rajapaksa, whose family had governed the country for 15 of the previous 18 years. The site became a hub of rallies, art performances, and speeches. In mid-July 2022, Rajapaksa fled the country after his residence was overrun by demonstrators.